Well, I mean, what division is that? I'm looking at their schedule right now, and wow, their toughest game looks like it's going to be Houston or Cincinnati.
Okay, well, I mean, like, I would. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. Memphis isn't. I mean, you can't really say much about their schedule. I mean, a lot of it has to do with what division they're in. You know, a lot of teams can't help that, but I just think Memphis is a better team than they get credit for.
That's fair.
They've got a good. You know, the past few seasons they've had a good offensive play. I mean, their quarterback right now is 12 of 18 for 49 yards.
Yeah. I mean, they could easily go undefeated the way their schedule looks, but who will care?
I don't think they'll go undefeated, but
I mean, I don't think so either, but they could. I mean,
yeah.
Look at their schedule.
Yeah, well, I mean, this works for some teams. Another game we got going on that's kind of looking a little sketchy right now is Mississippi State and Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's tied up 14-14 and almost half, and I just don't think Mississippi State's the team they were last year.
No.
And a lot of that has to do with quarterback play. I don't think you can just, take this new quarterback and walk him in there, and I mean, he's 5-9 and 74 yards. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they have the players to have a big season in the SEC considering their schedule.
Yeah.
Especially being in the West.
It's just hard to see them really.
They got a good coach, and I think when he gets, all his recruits in there, I think we find, which I'm not going to say that Mississippi State has bad recruits because Dan Mullen's a pretty good recruiter. I mean, they still got Mullen's guys in there.
Yeah, and I mean, if we want to look at the box score, then, Mississippi State's running back has 14 carries for 107 yards. So,
yeah. Maybe Louisiana's just playing a good game on them.
They might have a couple lucky plays. No.
But let's blow through these games that, honestly, I just don't see a whole lot to talk about. Like LSU and Georgia Southern. LSU's favored like 27 points on them, which is, not surprising. But the only thing I have to say about LSU is I'm interested to see their game just for their offensive play.
Yeah.
Because they backed out of that traditional running, play where they're just, lined up and running the ball every play, and they've swapped to like a spread offense evidently. With the new coordinator Joe Brady. So it may, especially with Joe Burrow being in there, it could be a good offensive play from them. And their defense is rock solid, should be.
Yeah, and I honestly think we'll be able to tell a lot about Joe Burrow from this game. I mean, it's like not a very, marquee opponent, but you're going to be able to see how his accuracy stacks up.
Yeah. We'll find out. I think you'll really be able to tell when they play SEC teams when they get in that gauntlet.
Yeah. All right. We'll go with Portland State and Arkansas. The Hogs are favored by 29.5 points, and there's going to be no surprises, I don't think. You got Arkansas.
I think that'll be one of the games they win this year.
Yeah. Smart man.
That's few of them, in my opinion, but if they play like they did last year, I don't think they win a lot. Listen, Missouri and Wyoming, I think Missouri handles that game fairly well.
Yeah, I don't really see any debate on that.
But, everyone's, wants to see what, Kelly Bryant does there.
No.
See if that offense looks the same without Drew Lock.
And just how healthy is he right now? We don't know.
Well, I mean, we heard the whole foot, it was like a foot injury or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was non-contact. I don't think it may have been just like a sprained ankle. They kind of hyped the news up on the injuries stuff.
But if you got that injury in the back of your mind, you're going to play a little gingerly and put more pressure on your other leg.
That's true.
It leads.
Honestly, I think we saw that from Tua last year. I mean, and especially like the SEC game and the national championship game. And in the playoff, you could see him kind of favoring,
Yeah.
And I think that kind of just hurt his game a little bit. So maybe he's, up to healthy standards now and he's not thinking about it, because it seems like when players have injuries, it's in their mind and it gets – I mean, even Nick Saban's talked about that. He said, do they just need to play and quit thinking about it?
Yeah.
I mean, your head will mess you up. Let's see. We got Duke and Alabama. I think that's one of the games that just there's no debate at all. I mean, Duke's not going to win.
They lost Daniel Jones. I mean, that was the only thing that made Duke relevant.
And a lot of people have been, hitting Alabama, oh, you guys got an easy schedule, whatever. But, I mean, when they scheduled Duke, Duke had good players, and it looked like they were on the rise. So
yeah.
And you had to pick schedules, 2 or 3 years beforehand. So,
but that Duke is not going to be a premier team for very long. They just got a good player. I mean, they got Cutcliffe. Respect to him. He's a great coach.
I guess they thought that Duke would be kind of ranked, especially with the players they had at the time. So, but it is what it is. I mean, Alabama still has a good schedule with all the SEC teams they play.
Yeah.
So, and the whole feud between Clemson and Alabama, about schedule-wise, Alabama has a better schedule than Clemson. Clemson,
yeah,
they may be victim to their division, but I mean, Clemson's the top dog, and they don't have a lot of people that's good in the ACC. So,
yeah,
I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, let's get over here to the South Carolina North Carolina game. What do you think about that?
Oh man,
a lot of expectations from Jake Bentley. He didn't have the season he wanted to last year.
Nah,
and they've been talking up Will Muschamp's defense this year.
I don't believe in North Carolina. I mean, Mac Brown, come on.
I don't know.
I know you're high on North Carolina in this game.
Yeah, I am. Especially, I don't know, like going off last year, because North Carolina was hideous last year. But it wasn't 2 or 3 years ago. North Carolina, they were in the ACC championship and almost beat Clemson.
I mean,
which,
that was...
Clemson went on to, I think that was the year they won the national championship, the first year that they played Alabama. Or it would be the second year they played them. But I don't know. It really just depends on, I don't know like how recruits goes with them. But I'm going to call an upset. I mean, South Carolina's only favored like 11 points in this. But, yeah. So
that kicks off in 2 hours from right now.
Yeah. Which, a lot of these games starts at 2:30. But moving on, because we're kind of running out of time. We got Tennessee and Georgia State. Not a problem.
I hope not.
No, I think y'all are fine.
We'll see.
I really like Jared Garantano, and I think y'all have a lot of good receivers, especially with Callaway and Juwan Jennings. One thing I want to see from y'all is y'all's line. I hope Tennessee's line is improved from last year. I mean, it's a lot like Auburn last year. Auburn's line was downright hideous, man.
Yeah.
And evidently they're supposed to be better this year, so I'm hoping you guys have a better line. I know there was a couple of injuries and players, taking off somewhere else.
Yeah, and just a quick little thought here. When Jeremy Pruitt came in there, he said there was a lineman that was like 250 pounds. And there's no more linemen that are 250 pounds. They've beefed up to...
Yeah, he's actually getting the recruiting, and he's putting... I mean, he's a good coach. That's all the way to put it. Georgia and Vanderbilt. That's the only SEC game this week, both the SEC.
Yeah.
Any possibility at all? I mean, Georgia's favored 23 points, but...
We don't even know who the starting quarterback is for Vandy.
That's true. And Georgia, I mean, they have Jake Fromm. Some people they call him the next, Aaron Murray, but Jake Fromm, he may not like stick out on paper like just this wow factor guy, but he's a game manager, and he makes plays when he needs to. He's very consistent, I think, for the most part. He had a good QBR last year.
Yeah.
He's like top 3 in the nation.
I mean, I'm as low as anybody on Georgia, but there ain't no way Vanderbilt beats them.
No, not for sure. Georgia lost a couple, wide receiver groups, but other than that, they still got, Swift. So we'll see.
And now, do we have the game of the week?
Oh yeah, we're right here to it. The marquee game of the week. We usually try to pick one game we think is going to be the marquee game, which this is college football marquee game this week.
Yeah.
I mean, College Game Day was there, so let's talk about Auburn and Oregon. We got a little short time, but we can fit it in there. What's your thoughts, and who do you think is going to win?
I've gone back and forth on this for the past week.
It's according to Vegas, it's really tight. It's like, within 3 points.
Yeah.
But they still got Auburn favored.
And really, it boils down to one thing for me, and it's going to be quarterback play. And I think that Justin Herbert's going to outplay Bo Nix in his first game. I think Auburn's starting the season 0-1.
Oof. You hurt me, Mason. You hurt me. Yeah. Herbert, he's a really good quarterback. I'm not going to say he's the best quarterback because he had a lot of inconsistency issues last year. Some of that may be on the wide receiver core because, over 50% of passes were dropped last year. And it seemed like farther in the season it was getting worse because they got they got ripped by Arizona or something like that in their last game. We can look that up real quick just to make sure. But their last game was not a good one for them from last season. But one thing to look at, their wide receiver core, they took hits. There's been 2 people out for the season, and then there's 3 or 4 others that's injured for this game. And that's 2 of their top wide receivers. But one thing you really want to watch out for is this this D line versus this O line. Some people's got Auburn's D line picked as the top in the country, and then Oregon's offensive line, they get it picked as one of the top offensive lines in the country. So that'll be cool to see, the battle in the trenches and see who prospers in that. But
yeah,
I don't think it's gonna, whatever team wins, I don't think it's gonna be a blowout by any means. I think it'll be a pretty close game. There's no telling, especially when you start a freshman quarterback, you never know what you're going to see from Auburn.
Who's your pick?
Unbiased, keep my unbiased out of it. I still think Auburn's going to win. I think Auburn's got better players, all across the board.
Yeah.
Their defense is, it's going to give Oregon problems. Oregon's not used to playing defenses like that.
Yeah,
come on,
it's
Pac-12.
Anyway.
Huh?
It could go anyway.
It could. It really just depends on what Oregon's offense does.
I just have a feeling that Justin Herbert's really going to put on a show, and I don't know about Bo Nix.
He's a big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5". We'll find out. That game's at 6:30. It's prime time.
I really wish that Bo Nix would get to start off against a cupcake. Just kind of.
Well,
ease
see,
in.
if they make it past this game, they have 2 games. I'm not gonna I'm trying not to call a team just a cupcake, but the 2 next games should be easier games until we play A&M. So he'll have 2 games to work on stuff and get kind of fix the stuff they need to be fixed. But yeah, all in all, I think it's going to be a good show.
And one last thing, who was the guest picker for College Game Day today?
Oh, Bo Jackson.
That's right.
Did you see who they picked to win?
Desmond got the Ducks.
Yeah. And
Bo got
Well, you knew he was going to pick Auburn.
Bo picked Oregon. Oh no.
No, he did. But yeah, we'll find out. I don't think Bo Nix plays like everyone thinks he plays because he's just a freshman. Because that dude's unreal. You never know, but
yeah,
as long as they keep him from just getting sacked in every play and it gets in his mind, I think he'll be good. But
yeah, and Corso did pick Oregon too.
Yeah, well, I figured that.
Yeah.
He just wanted to wear the mask I had.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's going to wrap us up. Let us know what you thought about our first live video chat, and you can always find us on whatever podcast platform you listen to. So I'm Dano, and this is Mason.
This is Mouth of the South.
War Eagle.
Go Big Orange.
It's all about the South. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Carolina.